Hello and welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite characters in Telltales Walking Dead. Some of these characters I can see people not agreeing with, so before you start typing in your angry comments, let me explain why. But anyway, here is my top 10 favorite characters in Telltales The Walking Dead, Seasons 1 and 2. And of course, starting off with number 10, we have Wyatt and Eddie. Wyatt and Eddie are my number 10 spot, together as a tie, because they're very similar. They're more or less the same character, because they work so well with each other. Those are second hilarious characters, like the really funny ones that everybody liked. Nobody had anything against these characters, but I would have been a lot happier if Wyatt would have taken Bonnie's place in season 2, but didn't do what Bonnie did, because that's bad and I hated that and it was the worst thing ever. Even though I doubt Wyatt survived Carver's, perhaps Eddie will appear in season 3, which I also doubt, but you never know. Number 9, Ben. Yeah, Ben. I know people have good reasons to hate Ben, but there's one big reason why Ben was important to the story, and a lot of people overlook it because it happened so early on with his character, is that Ben tells them that, or because of Ben and his group, it's the only reason that they find out no matter how you die, you become a walker. And if Ben hadn't come, and they wouldn't have found that out, you know how much more tragic that meat locker story would have been with Larry? Yeah, you would have had Lily dead, you would have had Clem dead, you would have had Kenny dead, and you would have had Lee dead. And thanks to Ben, the four or five most important characters to the story have lived. Thanks to Ben. And everything he did wrong, even though it was stupid, he always thought of the group when he did it. He never purposely wanted to hurt the group or anything. Also, this picture here with the words on it is optional text if you save Ben, and he says it to Kenny. Yeah, number 8 is Carver. So if Ben didn't spark you in the comments section, then this should. I picked Carver because he was a good villain. No matter what you said, he was a good villain. You know, unlike the Stranger in the St. John's, Carver actually had a reason to want our group. He had a motive against us. Unlike the Stranger didn't have a motive really. He was kind of just, feels like he was kind of thrown in there to be just to be there. And like the motive of the St. John's, it wouldn't matter if it was us or not, because they'd be doing the same thing either way. Although I will admit was really good put in. It's just Carver was better, because he's just a better villain in general. Like, he had the reason of Rebecca could have had his baby. They had escaped from him and he wanted them back because he's Carver and nobody escapes from Carver. Yeah. Carver's number 8 because he's just a good villain. Number 7 is Chuck. This is one of my favorite quotes by Chuck. But Chuck was a good character, although Telltale really could have went deeper into his character and all that, but they didn't. We knew that Chuck was a good guy. Even when he said that thing to Clementine, like, what happened to Duck is going to happen to you, I still knew he was a good character. It's just, he didn't really do a good job of expressing it properly. if it wasn't for Chuck, Clem probably would have never learned to use a gun properly. Which, in a case, can pretty much save Molly, in a way. And, and also, she wouldn't have her short hair, which I'm sure there's reasons for that. I'm pretty sure there's, times in Season 2 where if she had her long hair, she would have been caught. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, but if it wasn't for if it wasn't for, I almost said Duck. If it wasn't for Chuck, Clementine would not have been as capable in Season 2. Because Lee would have never had the motivation to teach Clementine all that stuff. Plus, he saved Clementine's life and risked his own life to do that. You can't say that about some other people on this list. Nope. Next is Omid. I didn't find a quote directly by Omid, but this quote that this other person made, it's accurate. It's accurate to what I'm gonna say. Because Omid is on my list for almost the same reasons as Wyatt and Eddie. We got a funny character in the story, which didn't happen a whole lot. I think Omid might have even be the first funny character, if you don't include Duck. But he was funny, but he was also serious enough for the times that he had to be. Unfortunately, most of Omid's humor was you had to go and talk to him when you were supposed to do something else, or you had to choose a certain choice and then he'd say a joke or something. But like this quote says, when he talks it feels like it almost isn't an apocalypse, because he's so good. He's such a funny character and all that. And he's also an expecting father. And to be that character and an expecting father, that's something. That's something, alright. Alright. Get your keyboards ready for number 5 here. Lily. I couldn't really find a good quote about Lily, but I feel like this is kind of more what the general people like about or want her to come back for, is that quote in the picture there. But Lily would have been higher on my list if the Doug and Carly incident hadn't happened, as you can read. Otherwise, she was a great leader. You can't deny that she was a good leader. She would always put the group first if she could, even after Larry's death. There was when the bandits attacked. She immediately got out her gun and went to a better vantage point to save as many people as she could. There was only one instance I can remember right now where she did not put the group first, and that was a choice, and that was immediately after Larry's death, where if you helped or didn't help, she would shoot the guy attacking you. Which nobody died there regardless at that point. So, I mean, she was good. She was a good character. She did what she had to for her group. She cared about the people in her group, and you can see that. Even like Kenny, she could have went there, she could have sabotaged it so Kenny died, but she didn't. She saved as many people as she could, and she did. If you have Carly with you, Carly pushed her. And when she's going through something like that, you shouldn't have pushed her like Carly did. Doug, that's completely Lily. That's Lily's fault all the way. There's no excuse for when it was Doug. Carly pushed her too much. Not that she should have killed her, but Carly was pushing her too much. Alright, so now that we're done with the ones that people are going to hate me for, we're going to go number 4, which is Molly. And Molly is the perfect example of hardcore parkour. Although it's obvious that she likes... Hold on, I wrote a script and I did bad grammar. Although it's obvious that she likes to be... Oh, okay. Although it's obvious that she likes to be a dependent character when you first meet her, and that she's got that cold exterior, like she doesn't care about anybody but herself, as soon as you get her into the group, kind of, that's when you notice that she cares about things. She cares about the other survivors. Just not if you're from Crawford. I mean, she even trusts you with her all-important Hilda, just to escape. Alright, so now we're at the top 3, and honestly, I don't think that I even have to say who they are. But number 3 is, of course, obviously it's going to be Kenny. Kenny is the character that no matter how you treat him in the game, if you make him do something he doesn't want to do, you don't, whatever, he still remains the best friend. The character that will do no matter what he can to save you. And that's why I like Kenny so much. I almost put Kenny above Lee, but, you know, Lee, he's even more caring than Kenny. Kenny had his problems with other characters in the story, like Ben and Lily, where he just wanted them to die, but Lee had that with no characters, except Larry. But Larry was a bad character. Kenny was the definition of the perfect companion to survive with, honestly. He was the best character. And then number 2 is Lee, of course. Lee was the character that you would play as in the... Well, maybe... I can't say that for everybody. I want to say that most people who play the game, the choices that Lee presents himself in, like, where Glenn's like, oh, we gotta save that girl up there, and then Lee's like, yeah, we do. I feel like that's the kind of way that most players would play. Not all, but most players would play anyway. And that's why I think Lee was such a good character. I don't got a lot to actually talk about, because everything is... It's obvious that Lee's going to be number 2. And it's obvious who number 1's going to be. Number 1 is Larry. Now, a lot of people hate Larry because... No. No, it's Clementine. Oh, I hate Larry. He's such a bad character. But there's no other character that would be better than Clem. In Season 1, when you play as Lee, you get Clem as the sidekick character. The lovable, innocent little girl in Season 1. And then you get to Season 2, and you get the badass survivalist Clementine. There's no way in any survivalist zombie game that ever exists there's a better character than Clem. And if there is, I challenge you to prove it. Tell me what character. I'll probably not be able to afford the game, but I'll watch probably some other YouTuber play it, and then I'll leave a comment underneath, and I'll be like, no, you're wrong. This character's nowhere near as good as Clementine. Get out of here. That's what I'll say. Anyway, that's my list of my top 10 favorite Telltales The Walking Dead characters. Next time, I think I'm going to be talking about my least favorites. That'll be more fun. Anyway, thank you for watching.